Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Jake, you got any big plans for the weekend, my friend?
Actually, I do. I've got some big plans at the Cornhusker State Games. Hopefully, my team last year went through the silver division. We got the bronze medal. We're going after gold this year.
Ooh. Why didn't you get gold last year? What'd you do wrong, Jake?
Actually, I played pretty well. I'm blaming my teammates. No.
Wow.
No, really, I shouldn't even be in this division. I'm there because of some of my teammates. So we'll see what happens this year. I'll try to hit my threes and see if I can help lead us to goal. I can't say lead us. I don't think I'll be the leader.
Rumor is you're a liability on defense, Jake. That's the rumor and innuendo going around Earth right now.
I can confirm.
That was a great response. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hour one of the Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by Hamilton Telecommunications. All right, we're proud to be have this great relationship with them. They're a phenomenal company, bringing you the latest quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn more about their residential and business services at hamiltontel.com. That's Hamilton, TEL.com. All right, the Adam Carriker Show. Sure, you're going to hear Husker sports, college football, sports in general. We're going to try to give you unique insight, unbridled honesty. And producer Jake and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. On the docket for the show today, what is Nebraska's defense going to look like in 2025? Caleb Benning had some interesting quotes. He says they're athletic, they're fast, they're going to attack. Love that. We'll dive into that just a little bit more, talk about a few other things as well. I heard, the name escapes me. Someone mentioned, and I said it to you like briefly, I think briefly this morning in the headline, but I was on my way here. But someone mentioned that the Memorial Stadium could never match an SEC atmosphere. I mean, we're going to dive more into that later, but initial thoughts?
There are certain atmospheres, again, to go into the SEC as a whole, I don't think that's fair. There are certain atmospheres that are going to be up there. There's going to be differences, but I would, I mean, I wouldn't just blanket statement the whole conference. And I think Memorial Stadium, when rocking, can be right up there with anybody. And I know, like you said, we'll get into this a little bit more. I think maybe part of that might be due to the time, I guess, in between Nebraska playing with heavy stakes on the line. Like, we think of Miami and Colorado as being those big games. I don't know if either of those teams are ranked when we played them. Miami, I'd have to go back and look.
Dude, that's a great point.
But those, so it's you can't.
What year was that Miami game? 2014. I'll look up real quick. Go ahead.
You just can't replicate top 5 stakes. You can't do that. I don't care where you're playing. If there's 2 top 5 teams playing at LSU, Kansas, USC, Seacrest Field, the feel for the game is going to be significantly higher. So I think that could be maybe factoring into one's thoughts of maybe not matching.
So you were close. Miami was not ranked, but we were.
There we go.
We were, after the game, we were 4-0 and ranked 24th in the country. So we were actually ranked, but they were not ranked. And no, Colorado was not ranked a year ago. That's a great point. I didn't even thought about that. The 2 most electric home atmospheres that I can think of in the past decade, the opponents were not ranked. Nebraska fans are dying, first of all, to get a ranked win. I remember the whole Illinois game, Friday night game. We're going to get that first ranked win in however long. I don't feel like looking it up now because I talked about it a million times that week. And then it didn't happen. We're dying to get that ranked win at home versus an opponent. Well, a ranked win in general. And then we get to the point, hopefully one day, where it's 2 ranked teams playing each other. And then some top 15 and top 10 matchups. Dare I say top 5 at some point in the future. Somebody's going to accuse me of drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm going to tell them my favorite color is red, ladies and gentlemen. I will say this. We'll get more into this later. Because it was just like sent to me from a friend. This is what somebody said. This is why the person said they'd never even been to an SEC game. And I was like, wow, come on now. All right. I have this clip here that our Sports Center ran. Got some interesting things to say about Nebraska. Not kind words about the football program, but kind words about the volleyball program. And did you know we have over 2,000 lakes in this state? At least according to the clip we're going to play later on. Did you know that?
I can't say I knew that specifically, no.
How do we define lakes? How big does it have to be? Because at a certain point, it becomes a pond. Did you know? Look at this up. Stupidlaws.com. Of course, this was when I was in high school the last time I looked at this. Okay, so probably 02, 01. Stupidlaws.com. There's all these stupid laws, okay, that have been on the books for centuries. And a lot of these stupid laws are there for a reason. First of all, why are they there? You know, there's no whale hunting in the state of Nebraska because I was about to say there's no ocean, and then that popped into my head.
Yeah,
there's a law that says no whale hunting.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry too much about that.
Lake McConaughey, there's a city at the bottom. You can see it when you're flying over in a plane,
right.
or a helicopter. No whale hunting. Stupidlaws.com. Check it out. Of course, maybe again, I have not been to that website since my senior year 02, so maybe now it's gone. I don't know why it would be. It was hilarious. I thought it was great.
I thought that was odd too to highlight 2,000 lakes. Like, that's good, but there's literally a state that promotes their 10,000 lakes. So
Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's good. I think we have outside of Alaska, I think we have the most mile of river. That's what I would have went with.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
I'm the internet.
Dude, that's a phenomenal pull right there. That is awesome.
I walked around and measured the amount of river we've had so
That's
far.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. So I grew up, as you know, in the Northwest, born in Hastings. When I was 3, my dad's job took me upstate of Washington. So you look on a map, Richland, Pasco, Kennewick. I grew up in Kennewick. You say Tri-Cities is what it'll say, southeast corner. Okay, not where it's green, where the desert is. All right, Richland, Pasco, I grew up in Kennewick on the Columbia River. Nobody's ever heard of the Columbia River outside of the state of Washington. Frankly, outside of southeastern Washington. The largest river in America is Mississippi River. Number 2 is the Columbia River.
Is it really?
They have boat races on July 4th, the fireworks show. It's absolutely phenomenal. But nobody knows that. Kind of like, I think, isn't Lake McConaughey like 22 miles all the way around or something like that in Nebraska?
Something like that, yeah.
All right. We're going to chat about that clip. They point out, how do I put this? Without giving it away, it's going to give it away. They point out our lack of mountains in Nebraska. They point it out in a not so kind way. So there's some interesting things in this clip. I just thought it was interesting. We'll play it a little bit later on. All right. If we have time, I've actually been holding on to this for a month because it's an evergreen topic. But some people talked in depth about the training table. Right? We talk about what the University of Nebraska provides, the facilities, the top-notch facilities. Recruits come in here and they say there's none better in the country. The training table. Now, if we don't have time to get to this today, we will dive into it next week. All right. But the training table, we will either dive into today or tomorrow. But first, when I sent this to you last night, I was like, he's going to have no idea what I'm talking about. And then you responded with, I don't think the link said. That's because there was no link, Jake.
Okay.
It was just a note for me, and it just said Snake Slayer, ... for tomorrow. That was just, because every time I text you the headline, I check to see what I've sent you the night before, because half the time I can't remember 12 hours later what I was doing 12 hours before. And it just said Snake Slayer, and you're like, the link didn't send. There was no link. So, all right, there aren't many things in this world that I legit don't like and legit scare me. There's not many. It used to be heights. I had to get over that by, flying in a million flights in my life. It used to be deep water. Not so much. Okay. There's a couple other things. There's really about 2. I'm not going to disclose the other one in case a serial killer gets a hold of me one day. I don't want them to have the ammo to know what to do. All right. So there's one, but then the other one is snakes. I hate snakes. I'm like Indiana Jones. Snakes. Why'd it have to be snakes? I have had multiple times in my life, my wife can attest to this, so when Jacob was about 6 months, we lived in St. Louis, there was a park out back our house. We walked through the woods. There was woods and then a park. We were technically in the city, but on the outskirts of the city. And so we would take him, his name was Rambo. He's a golden retriever. He's really more like Romeo, sweetest dog ever. And we would take him, we'd go to the park, walk around, do whatever, and have fun. One day, this Rottweiler breaks, and we would walk by this dog every day, and it had the e-fence, the electric fence. So no actual fence, but just like an electric fence. It comes up to it, it shocks it. And every day I'd be like, if that dog ever breaks through, we're in trouble. One day it broke through, and it came charging at us from about 30 to 40 yards away. And it's not the first time I'd been charged by a loose dog. When I was in high school, my parents had this teeny tiny little dog. They called it Hobo because they got it off the streets, and
Did it look the part?
It looked the part. And so this thing is tiny, and I'm walking it. I'm like just taking it out, taking it for walks. I like to go on walks. I do. All right. And one of their neighbor's dogs comes charging at us. Now, this is about a medium-sized dog. Not a big dog, not a Doberman, not a Rottweiler, but also not like a miniature or anything, like a medium-sized dog. I stood in front of Hobo. I was like, I just kind of standing our ground. The dog tried to get at him. I'm like blocking with the arm, but no big deal. Dog eventually goes away. Well, this is a freaking Rottweiler. This is a big one too. It's a male. And we ain't getting away. Like it is, what are you going to do at him? And I stood in front of, it was trying to get to Rambo. Oh, ironically, we found out the neighbor later, the owner later called us and apologized. That dog's name was Romeo. That's why I said Rambo should have been Romeo. Their names should have been flipped.
Yeah.
He should have been Rambo. Our dog should have been Romeo. So he's coming at us, and I stand in front, and the dog stops. It's trying to get to our dog, Rambo. I'm more concerned, obviously, about Rambo, but my wife, but my son. He was not even 6 months old at the time. And so the dog does not get there, finally gives up, and I'm like, I continually am blocking. It's at one point, it looked at me like it was going to go at me, and I'm like, I got no choice. If you want to do this, let's do this. Like, a dog bites up, it don't bite down. So if I can grab the bottom of your jaw and I had a plan. I was going to rip the top part open. You ever see, what was it, Hercules with the Rock, where he rips the lion's mouth wide open in the beginning? Like, that's a movie, obviously. And this wasn't a creme de la creme situation that I would have picked, but that was my plan. Now, whether it would have worked or not, I don't know. But by God, you weren't going to get by me without me giving my best effort. Eventually, the owner comes running out. They're freaking out. They take the dog away. It wasn't until like a day or two later they called and apologized, and we found out the actual name and everything. I think they were freaked out. I think they thought we were going to sue them.
Oh, yeah.
I just keep your dog away from us. I don't want to sue you. I don't have time for that. So anyways, it's happened to me a couple times where dogs have charged. There's people who live in our vicinity now. Their Dobermans have decided to get a little too friendly sometimes, a couple of times, and I do what I normally do. So anyways, but when it comes to snakes, I am a giant pussycat. I just am. We had the same house in St. Louis. This is going to sound so terrible. It was like, it wasn't a garter snake, but it wasn't much bigger on our front. And when I tell you I don't like snakes, I don't like snakes. And I don't even think Jacob was born yet. So this probably predated the dog thing because it was just me and Ange. We had just moved in. So I called Ange. I'm like, there's a snake on the front. So she grabs a shovel, comes out, and she's like, where is it? She's expecting some gigantic boa constrictor. It's not even an intermediate, medium-sized snake. She looks at me and she goes, really? She chops the head off. You know? Yeah, well, that's what you do. You throw the head one way. She threw it in the garbage can. You throw it one way, the snake the other way, the rest of the snake the other way, just, trying to keep us safe. Now, in my defense, she does the same thing with spiders. Okay, she does not like spiders. So there's times when she'll call me in and I'll be like, really? And I'll just, take care of the spider. But to each their own. So the other night, and I found out yesterday, my family has this on video. I did not know they had it on video. My daughter, Trinity, put music to it. And she named the video Snake Slayer, which is why in your text it says Snake Slayer ... for tomorrow. Now, I watched the video because they showed it to me. I already knew what happened. I was there. So we're in our garage and we live kind of out in the country. Like you're gonna see, like we see coyotes and deer, like you're gonna see some stuff, no big deal. But there's a snake in the garage. I'm like, I'm not calling Ange. I have matured as a man since 2007 when I was first drafted. I'm taking care of this thing. Again, not small, but not big, like maybe intermediate, maybe. I'm being kind to myself, It was gigantic. I'm a man. And I'm like, all right, what do I do? So we go to a million sporting events. So we've always got stadium chairs and umbrellas on the ready. You just throw them in the back of the vehicle. So there's a big black umbrella. It's kind of done up, so it's very long. I grab it and I just shoo the snake out of the garage. I don't even touch it. I'm like, yeah, I'm a man. And then I'm kind of standing there and I'm like, that thing's just gonna hang out there. One of my kids could be out here in 5 minutes. And so then I kind of I'm trying to nudge it. My wife later was like, why don't you just grab a shovel and chop its head off? I was like, I don't know, because I don't know. I was proud of myself for what I was doing. And so I'm kind of nudging it. And I realize I'm doing a terrible job. I'm really just dragging it across the concrete, the poor thing. So I'm like, I actually feel bad for this thing. So then I finally take the umbrella. I get it underneath the snake and it flings it about 30, 40 feet in the air. I'm like, whoa. So I may have done that once or two more times. And I got it way off. There's a wide open field on the other side of our driveway. And I finally flung it way over there. So I walk back in the house and I tell my wife all proudly, yeah, I took care of the snake. And my daughter started to show me love, but really mock me. He takes protecting this family seriously, which I do, but their tone was not very complimentary. I wake up the next day to a video being shoved in my face by Trinity, Snake Slayer, and it's a video. I forgot we had cameras out there. It's a video of me flinging this poor thing in the air and trying to get it off the property. And she put music to it. And then at the end goes, defender of the house, daddy, exclamation point. Anyway, so that's all that was. There's no, I guess I could have sent you the video, but there's no audio.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have worked very well. I don't know, Jake.
What was the music? What kind of music did she decide to put behind it?
I don't remember. I was actually pretty engrossed in watching the video. I was like, wow, all right, this is kind of entertaining. I already knew what the outcome, obviously, but do you think more or less of me as the man now, Jake, that you've heard that whole story? What are your thoughts on me now, Jake?
Well, I better not think too much. You still could toss me, I think, 30 to 40 feet in the air as well. So, but yeah, I mean, everybody's got their weaknesses. I think that's kind of what it teaches you. It can be tough. I'm not a big fan of snakes either. I know, Andre the Giant once walked out of the Royal Rumble because Jake the Snake Roberts brought his snake in.
Now, was that planned or that?
Yeah.
Oh, that was planned. Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, as far as we know.
Let me ask you because they had this, they defanged that cobra that Jake would bring to the snake, and they had it bite Macho Man, and they had it prepared. And I actually watched Jake. God rest, Macho Man's soul is not with us anymore. But I watched Jake talk about. I don't want to say how Macho Man wanted to be overly prepared. Like he's the one getting bit by a cobra, so I understand it. But I guess it was overly prepared. He asked Jake 50 times, did you defang it? Does it know, has it been trained? Jake's like, you can't really train a snake, but it's been defanged because they had it planned. And so they did the whole thing. Would you, because I'm actually I don't know if I could have done that, even if it was defanged. Could you have let yourself get bitten by a defanged cobra for payment in the WWE back in the day?
I suppose there's a dollar price for everything, but that would be pretty tough.
Yeah.
I myself am not a big fan of snakes. So especially a big one like that. And then you're kind of thinking, yeah, they're saying this and that and the other thing. But if you let a snake bite you and you end up getting hurt from it, that's because you let a snake bite you. So That'd be tough. There'd have to be a pretty good signing bonus on for that one.
Jake wants his signing bonus. So the moral of the story, gigantic Rottweilers I am not afraid of them. I've done it before and I'll do it again, not by choice, but if I have to. But a small to intermediate sized snake might be my weakness. Although I've come a long ways. As long as I'm armed with an umbrella, I'm good to go, man. Watch out. You don't know what to say, do you? You're kind of like, I don't know what to make of this.
I'd like to see, you
want
like
to see the video?
Factor or something where they put you in a tank full of snakes or whatever and see how you would do.
I've come a long way with snakes, though. I'll keep names out of this. We recently went to the Henry Dorley Zoo, took some folks that we know, and there was a very young child with us, and there was an older kid. The older kid liked to give other people a hard time if they were afraid of snakes. So we did a couple of behind the scenes things. We get up close with some of the animals, and one of them, a snake was brought out. The young child petted the snake, no problem. The older kid would not. And when I say older, I'm like, think high school. Would not touch the snake. I have been so relentless in giving this person so much crap ever since. I petted the snake without hesitation, Jake. I'll have you know that. I've come a long ways. All right, my other weakness, my other kryptonite, that will remain a secret till the day I'm gone, unless my wife reveals it, which her and I better stay together a long time for my own safety, I think. All right, let's see what else we got here. Is there anything off the text line? Are people being kind with the comments?
So Pecan Pie was wondering about that river. He says, is that the river between Washington and Oregon?
Yep, that's the Columbia River. Yep, that's it.
Yeah. No comments so far on the snakes. People are scared.
People are scared. Yeah. I understand. Okay, let's do this real quick. Actually, let's go to break. We're actually going to be a little bit ahead of schedule, which will allow our next two segments to be a little bit lengthier because we always seemed like, we can't get it all in. So let's go to break now, and we can lengthen the next two segments. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Tune in to live coverage of Big Ten Media Days from the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, July 22nd through 24th on 93.7 The Ticket. Join Derek Pearson, Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert, and Austin Orman as they bring you exclusive conversations with Big Ten coaches, players, and sports media professionals while getting you ready for the upcoming college football season. Big Ten Media Days coverage is presented by Advanced Medical Imaging, Stevenson Smith Construction, Currency, Warhorse Casino, Gary Michaels Clothiers, and League One Volleyball.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning. Now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Hey, I don't want to hate on Joe Burrow. He's clearly in this tier. I think he's the bottom of this tier. I would go Allen Jackson and then Burrow.
You should be a politician. Just convinced.
You know what I'm saying? You see what he did?
Yeah, he didn't have
He's doing all kinds of tricky, man.
Keep going, Jay.
No,
Speak my language.
Stop.
You're speaking my language. Come on.
You didn't let him get you, Jay. I can't believe you let him get you again. God,
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Whatever you do it with the confidence of a 4-year-old in a Batman shirt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to hour one of the Adam Carriker Show. Again, brought to you and proud to be partnered with this great company by Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn more about their residential and business services at hamiltontel.com. That's Hamilton, TEL.com. All right. Well, real quick, before I say anything along those lines, you got anything from the text line real quick?
Yeah, we did have a comment from Buck's neighbor on snakes. Says, snakes don't bother me. My daughter is always picking them up.
Well, now I feel like a real man. All right. What? All right. What scares you, Jake? Are you comfortable talking to girls yet? Like, where are you at on that subject? Huh?
No, that's definitely still my biggest fear. I would say snakes is right up there. Now, when you said large bodies of water and all that stuff, I still kind of being stuck out in the middle without being able to touch my feet to the ground. That's another one. I could swim for a little bit, but not well.
So there was a huge reservoir where I grew up. We'd always go to this park, and there was a huge reservoir or a dam, whatever you want to call it. And just looking out in the middle of it would always freak me out. Now, the ocean, that wasn't even something I could fathom being dropped in the middle of the ocean. But like I told you during the commercial break, like a lot of those things don't really faze me now. Heights don't faze me too much. Even deep water doesn't faze me too much. Even I told you, I'm not as bad with snakes. I will dominate an earthworm-sized snake. I just want you to know that. Actually, Andy Jurassic said in a wonderful text, he sent me a picture. It says it's like the snake grabber tool. Apparently, this is better than the umbrella that I broke, by the way, when I did this the other night. He goes, here you go. It probably won't work well for earthworm-sized snakes, though. So I appreciate the sentiment there, Andy. All right. Let's roll into that. Let's roll into that clip that we've got, because I thought it was. It's always interesting to see what, I don't want to say outsiders, but the national perception is of Nebraska's football program, Nebraska as a whole. I thought part of this was good. I thought part of it was like, oh, here we go again. I thought some of it was entertaining. So go ahead and roll that clip there, Jake.
As promised, we're back 50 and 50. More than 2,000 natural lakes in the great state of Nebraska. That is where SportsCenter's 50 States in 50 Days rolls on today. Nebraska, so much more than a state so flat you can watch your dog run away for 2 weeks, Randy.
Some states have that shared recognition. Shout out Oklahoma.
Hey, Kansas.
If you've never experienced the Men's College World Series, it is a sports fan's bucket list item. There's also the best sport at the University of Nebraska. And it ain't football.
Yeah.
It's volleyball. Let's look at some of the top sports moments for the great state of Nebraska.
Randy, we don't got to go far. August 30th, 2023, Nebraska volleyball setting a world record for attendance at a women's sporting event. 92,300 fans packed Memorial Stadium to see the Huskers sweep in-state foe Omaha 3-0. All
right, let's go back June 29th, 2010. End of an era. The final Men's College World Series game was played at Rosenblatt Stadium. Obviously, they still play in Omaha, but that iconic venue saw Whit Merrifield hit a walk-off single in the 11th to give South Carolina a 2-1 win of UCLA to sweep the championship series.
November 8th, 1997, top-ranked Nebraska trailed at Mizzou 38-31, 7 seconds to go. Scott Frost throws a pass, juggled, kicked. Matt Davison makes the diving catch for the score, and Nebraska wins in OT 45-38.
All right, Jake, what's your initial reaction? That's my second time hearing that. What's your reaction after the first time hearing it? And then anybody out there who's tuning in, what's that text line number there, Jake?
402-464-5685.
What's your reaction to the Sports Center little clip there they put on the great state of Nebraska? Go ahead there, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. Obviously, I love the fact that they had volleyball day in there. I think it's cool to include College World Series, maybe getting something to show people, hey, there's something more outside of just the University of Nebraska, and they call it a bucket list item. Absolutely true. If you haven't been, you got to go to the College World Series. So, I love that stuff. A little bit confused. I mean, you got to find the Nebraska clip you want to play, I suppose. And that's great for our state. That was actually happened in the state of Missouri. That was an away game.
So got about a technicality.
A little bit confused there, because if you're just going to choose anything from Nebraska football, which is, I mean, you just got a lot to pick from. So I'm interested that that was their pick.
As soon as they said Scott Frost, I was like, oh, they're bringing up Scott Frost. Way to go. No. That is something that didn't even occur to me. That's a technicality. You got him on right there. The old flea kicker, Scott Frost to Matt Davidson. All right, I agree with you. They said 92,300. It was 92,003 is actually the amount of people that were there at volleyball day at Nebraska. Of course, as soon as they said, the best sport, or whatever they said it was, the best sport at Nebraska, I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be volleyball, not football, which is fine. I mean, rock on volleyball. Hopefully football can close that gap a little bit. I'm not going to get the quote right, so I'm just going to paraphrase. You could watch your dog run away for 2 weeks because it's so flat. Is that what they said?
Yeah, that's basically what they said.
Of course, they didn't just say us. What they said, Oklahoma, Kansas kind of has all of that. I thought that was actually a funny line. I'll actually give them credit. That was actually pretty funny. I will say this, though. Depending on where you go, like especially in Lincoln, this is going to sound weird, but if you're like on the outskirts of Lincoln, where there's like woods or stuff like that, like we kind of live near woods, there's mornings that we wake up know that we lived in Colorado, where my wife is like, especially if there's a little bit of dew or fog. There was fog this morning for a little bit. Like it's like it kind of felt like the mountains. There are parts of Lincoln that I think are absolutely gorgeous. I really do. I did when I was in college. I do now. And actually, when we first came back, I told my wife, so where we lived in Colorado was Loveland, Fort Collins. It's called the Front Range, the foothill. So you're not actually in the mountains. We're like 20 minutes from the mountains. And Estes was like 40 minutes away if you've ever been to Estes Park. And once you get in the mountains, it's gorgeous. At the foothills, I told my wife several times, I'm like, I actually thought it would be prettier directly in the area that we live. Like it's pretty, but it's not what I had imagined. There's been several times since we've been back to Lincoln, I'm like, I actually think it's prettier here than where we live there. And that's my honest opinion. My wife says the same things. Now, I guess it depends on where you're at in Lincoln, but there's several parts where I'm like, I actually think it's prettier in the city of Lincoln than it was in the city of Loveland specifically. I always thought Fort Collins was a little bit cleaner, not cleaner, but prettier to look at. Obviously, you get in the mountains, things change a little bit. But there's a little bit of a feel that I really like, which is one of the reasons we wanted to come back to Lincoln, that I really like in Lincoln that I don't think you get as many other places as people might think. I actually think Omaha's great. I don't think I get that feel when I go to Omaha. There's certain places, okay, but I don't think it's the same feel as it is in Lincoln. Does that kind of make sense what I'm saying to you? Do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so you can kind of get your different feelings on there. Obviously, if you're looking for mountains, you're not going to find them. But I was just kind of driving out to a lake the other day too, and it was, there's, even if it's just cornfields all around you, or even just grass fields, I find beauty in that. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for, and kind of peace and tranquility. That kind of reminded me of that. And so there can be beauty everywhere. And I've traveled enough, probably not as much as you. I haven't played in several different cities and all that. But I do tell people that obviously Lincoln's a great place to grow and raise a family. But it might not be a destination that you're going to stay 3 weeks for. But if you come to Lincoln especially for football season, Omaha's right there. You can make a week vacation, have a good time out here, I think.
So when I was growing up, my dad grew up in a small family farm in Giltner. All right, they lived in Hastings, and when I was 3, his job took him to the state of Washington. But he's a small blue-collar farm boy, grew up on a family farm. My mom, she has quite the backstory, but long story short, she was adopted when she was 2, and she grew up in a log cabin that my grandpa Warner built in 1947. Literally, we would go there for our vacations in the summer because it's literally, for the third time I'm going to say that word, on the side of a freaking mountain in a mountain range in Colorado. They had 100 acres, and it's a log cabin. And then he built he had all these structures that he built. They lived there from 47. He actually passed away Valentine's Day 07. Okay, so 60 years in the very chair that I chatted with him a million times in. That's where he passed away. But he had his woodworking shop, he had his greenhouse, he had his storage, he had 3 different garages. It was all made out of log. So anyways, my mom, anytime Nebraska was brought up, love you, Mom, she would go cornfield after cornfield after corn, poking at my dad. And my dad might use the word, just kind of poking at her from being out in Timbuktu, hillbilly or something like that, just kind of having fun. I don't know, like what you said. First of all, there's more than just cornfields, but I actually think it's gorgeous because there's cornfields on the edge of town. I'm driving to a baseball tryout the other night. There's literally cornfields across the street. And I'm like, I actually find that they're tall, they're green right now. I actually find that to be very peaceful. That's going to feed people. I actually like that a lot. So like you said, maybe somebody else doesn't, but I personally do. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I actually think there's a lot of beautiful things and places within the state of Nebraska. And it's kind of one of those things where Matt Rule has talked about, we just got to get them here. From a football aspect, just got to get them here. Because the outside perception is one thing. You get here, and it's not, I don't want to say completely different, because that insinuates that the outside perception is completely negative, because that's not true. But when you get here, you walk away with an even much more positive perception because you see what it really is versus the outside perception, which isn't always completely accurate. There's a bit of a narrative from the outside perception, I feel like. And I feel like I did find the line, you could watch your dog run away for 2 weeks because it's so flat. I did find that pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's something my mom would find hilarious, being from the mountains of Montana, by the way. My half-sister, we have the same mom, different dad, she now lives on the opposite side. If you look at a map, it's Lewistown, right in the dead center. It's probably about 4,000 people. She lives in that town. She lives on the opposite side of town, literally on the side of a mountain. Not a log cabin, but it was built by her husband. So they would probably find that to be rather humorous. But for me, I actually find it peaceful. I find it beautiful. And that's kind of what I like.
I think Nebraska, too, should lean into their strength, because I think that's part of the problem. As you know, Nebraska's state slogan is it's not for everybody or something like that. And it's that's really, and I get that they're trying to kind of use those words to kind of turn it on, like it is for some people, but I don't know. And they paid millions of dollars for that. So
there is no place like Nebraska is a million times better.
Yeah. There you go.
Like that is the perfect slogan. There is no place like Nebraska because it says everything you want to say, yet it puts the appropriate positive, gives you the appropriate positive picture of Nebraska that you really should have. When you say it's not for everybody, you're immediately excluding a lot of people and you're giving them that perception, and perception becomes reality. You're giving them that perception as well. So is there anything off the text line on any of this stuff here, Jake? You got any final thoughts before we head to break?
Money G in Kansas says the sand hills are amazing, all in the eye of the beholder. And Hizzlebear says the state of Nebraska is very hilly if you just get off the interstate.
Okay, I could get with that. Hilly, all right, hilly. We'll go with hilly. I'm good with that. Anything else?
It always amazes me. I would, yeah, hilly's nice.
Hilly's nice.
It amazes me. Even like Omaha, there are portions of Omaha where if you leave and enter into Iowa, there's like immediately like a pretty big hill. You know, big hills going. You're just like, man, it's as soon as you leave this flatland, huh? Not that Iowa has that much more.
Did you just compliment Iowa? You want them to play Texas in the national title game, or is it Minnesota?
Minnesota.
It should have been Texas that was put in that text.
Well, the Floyd of Rosedale is not on the line for Iowa, Texas. The reason why I like Iowa, Minnesota is the bronze pig they play for.
Yeah, but Iowa, Texas is worse. It's worse.
I don't like Texas.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had roofing service company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing service company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing service company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
While folks love all of Hog Wild's award-winning barbecue options, many have a real soft spot for the Carolina pulled pork sandwich. Hog Wild serves their tender, slow-smoked pulled pork on a soft bun and piles it high with tangy coleslaw. There's nothing else on the menu like it. The added bonus? You get to have a side dish like curly fries or baked beans. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grata offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grata Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schweisow.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Sunsets over cornfields is hard to beat. That's all I'm saying, Jay. That's all I'm saying. All right. We got a little bit of a not Husker sports, but a general sports roundup real quick. All right. What did you think of Shane Gillis's monologue at the SPs the other night? His jokes have been all over the place.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's kind of the kind of comedian that usually can get a chuckle out of me. He did so as much at the SPs, but man, he can say anything. It seemed like.
All right. And I quote, Shadur Sanders had his jersey retired at Colorado this year. People are saying it's because of nepotism, because of his father. And it's not. It's because he went 13-12. I can't even say it with a straight face. He did better than I did. It's because he went 13-12 over his career and he almost won the Alamo Bowl. End quote. It was not because of his dad. Thoughts?
That's not even a joke. That's fact. That's just fact.
He said that's fact. I love that. All right. So I saw, and I didn't even click on it to read it, but just real quick, we'll spend 90 seconds on this. I saw a headline the other day, and it was from like a national sports, I can't remember who it was, that Shadur Sanders might not even make the team. at Cleveland. And then you've got like Colin Cowherd, who's like, no, he'll be starting by Thanksgiving. What is your official prediction? Will he make the team? Will he start this year? Is he second string, third string, practice squad starter right out the gate? What do you got, Jake?
I think he does make the team, and I think he does start this year at some point. But it's going to be fascinating because you do have that whole, like, he's almost like, there's no way you could avoid it. When you drafted Tim Tebow, there was going to be a media circus. And you kind of get that in this 5th round type of discussion. But obviously, as we know, he wasn't a 5th round talent. He just dropped there because of the media circus. So again, it's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But I think with that room, the Browns, I think if they start the veteran and then about halfway through the season, like, well, the season isn't going anywhere, then you're probably gonna get some starts. So I could see Dylan Gabriel get some. I could see all 4 of them if they get some starts at some point. I don't know if they're gonna bring all 4 of them onto the roster, but specifically him and Gabriel. Unless they're that high on Pickett, to see if they've got something for the future, because Flacco's just, once the season crosses the point of we're not competing for the playoffs, then you're not going to ride with Flacco. You're going to see if you have anything for the future.
With all due respect to the Super Bowl champ, he's a bridge quarterback, and I think we all know that. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, he's still playing into his 40s, so congrats to him. But he is a bridge quarterback. I think we all kind of know that. My official prediction, heading into the Cleveland Browns' last preseason game, they name a new head coach, Deion Sanders. Game 1, Shadur's the starter. Game 2, Shadur's in the NFL Hall of Fame. That's my prediction. All right. Next headline. Indiana canceled, you probably saw this, Indiana canceled a 2027-2028 home-and-home series with Virginia and will pay $500,000 to Virginia to cancel the series. Now, before I read on, reaction? $500,000 to duck Virginia.
Yeah, I mean it's odd because it's not the name that Tennessee was, but it's a similar strategy to what Nebraska did with Tennessee, and I think we're going to see more big teams do it. But you're right. I mean, Virginia. I don't know if they're obviously replacing it with like W's, like automatic W's.
Kennesaw State.
So they at least see, they at least see Virginia as at least a threat to do that. So I get it. They're weakening their schedule again because of how hard the Big Ten play is going to be. And it's 9 conference games, not 8, which they're battling the SEC for right now. So again, I see the strategy, but again, like Nebraska, not a good look.
There's no reason, good, bad look or not, there's no reason to schedule a bunch of tough non-conference opponents because the committee has shown the more wins you have, the more likely you are to get in. Not the stronger your schedule is, the more likely you are to get in. Change how the committee does things, and people will change how they schedule. Because right now, people are changing how they schedule based on how the committee's doing things. And Indiana's dropping a pretty penny to do so. They already added Kennesaw State to the 2027 schedule. And Indiana will now pay, actually, they're replacing them with Austin Peay. Sorry, they already had Kennesaw State on the schedule. They will now pay Austin Peay $400,000 for a game in 2028 as the other UVA replacement. They basically paid like $900,000 to get out of playing Virginia. I mean, that's the math, right? I'm not a math
Which
major.
is a game they'd be favoring right now.
I mean, okay. There was one comment that stuck out to me. This is everything that's wrong with college football. Canceling a series against a Power 4 team to schedule a bakery. In other words, a bunch of cupcakes. I thought that was a little humorous. Yes, Nebraska has done something similar, but again, I've never said it. While there, there's some jokes to be made if you want some jokes to be made, but in all seriousness, I don't think I would do anything different. I don't know that I dropped $900,000 to duck Virginia, but I get why teams are doing this. When we did not want to play Tennessee, I got it at the time. Keep in mind, we had asked previously to move it, and Tennessee said no. Unlike when they'd asked us to move back the series, we said yeah. So keep that in mind because that gets brushed under the rug just a little bit sometimes, and that's a key factor right there. But I will tell you, I get it. I don't like it. As a college football fan, I hate it. As a Nebraska guy, I get it. As someone who wants to make fun of Kurt Cignetti, that's a great thing to bring up.
Indiana, by the way, bringing back the Bison mascot. Did you see that?
I did not.
Yeah, they're gonna have not a live one like Ralphie or anything.
That's good.
But yeah, dressed up. Yeah.
So what is a Hoosier, by the way?
I think that's just a person from Indiana, I believe.
Jake. That's a terrible definition. What? A person from Indiana? What does that even mean?
I think that's what they call themselves. Let me look. A Hoosier is a nickname for a resident of the U.S. state of Indiana. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I stand corrected. All right, Jake. Who's your daddy? You're correct, and I'm wrong. Sorry. All right. Nebraska is recruiting some in-state talent. All right. Let's see. Omaha, Nebraska Central safety, Torrey Pittman, is the 16th ranked prospect and number 2 safety in the country, depending on where you look. This is according to, let me see here, Rivals 300 rankings. Nebraska actually is favored at the moment, okay, to land Torrey Pittman. He's still going to take some visits, though. What are your thoughts there on landing? If we're not going to go after many guys from in-state, we're obviously going to go after the top guys. How important is it to then land those guys, Jake?
Yeah, it's big. I mean, and again, this like you said, he's a top type of player, and he's going to go into this. He's the number 1 player in the state for the class of 2027, ranked top 50 by some. So I mean, this is a big time player, and regardless of where he is, you'd think this is like the national recruit that falls into the state of Nebraska.
Yes.
So he's going to be huge to get. I mean, that's but maybe less so than in the past because of this year's attack at the state. I guess is dumbed down a little bit.
All right, last thing before we head to break and get on to the hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show, where we will discuss what we think the defense will look like. And Caleb Benning had some interesting quotes. And honestly, they didn't just stick out to me because they were interesting. They stuck out to me because it's kind of what I anticipate. And to hear him say something similar is what made it really interesting to me. Also, Memorial Stadium, not as good an atmosphere as an SEC school. That's the rumor and innuendo out there. But one final thing. All right, 2025 NFL minimum rookie contracts are $840,000. Felix Ojo signed a 3-year, $5.1 million contract to play for Texas Tech. Quick thoughts on college players. And now he's obviously on the high end of the examples. And Texas Tech is just rolling out the cash. They got one of the biggest boosters, if not the biggest booster in all of America as far as actually spending money. I don't know if he has the most money, but he's got money and he's spending it. So you take one of the premier examples in college football and obviously rookie minimum. That's like the lowest example you can get from the NFL. But again, Carson Beck, there are other guys that literally were going to go to the NFL and came back to college, came out of the draft. There's a guy who might go back to A&M. We just talked about him yesterday, a first-round pick of the Browns. I don't know if that's due to money. Maybe he just doesn't like the Browns. But they're coming back to college because they can make more money. What are your thoughts on this? Good, bad? Do you care?
It's fascinating. I mean, it is a kind of the next step in this whole experiment that we said from the beginning. It didn't have guardrails on it. Now that now you don't have guardrails, it's kind of trickling off into the NFL draft and seeing where it's going at Texas Tech. I just continue to be fascinated. One was the kind of the shock of saying this is a multi-million-dollar rev share deal. So you're kind of thinking, okay, that's going to be something I'm going to have to get used to. Try to see the differences between rev share deals and just rumored deals out there, because the other ones are going to be hard to maybe track. Or NIL Go, all that. They're going to try to make it easier to track. I don't know if that information will be made public. Of course, hasn't been the last couple of years. So it's fascinating. And then the other thing is if this Texas Tech experiment works and they're a playoff team, or if it blows up in their face, and then the least interesting thing is if they'd go 8-5 or something, we don't really get our answer one way or the other.
So remember, Texas A&M, it was about 4 or 5 years ago at this point, under Jimbo Fisher, didn't just sign the number 1 recruiting class in the country. They signed the number 1 ranked recruiting class of all time. And then Nick Saban pointed out how they kind of bought players. Jimbo got upset at Saban. And here we are all these years later. That class imploded. Jimbo was let go. They got a brand new head coach at A&M, and it didn't work out so well. So that's one example. This is a little different variation via the transfer portal and things of that nature, not guys right out of high school. I'm curious to see how it works. As far as college guys getting paid more than NFL guys, I honestly have no problem with it. I love the idea of guys being given a reason to stay in college rather than all the reasons being to push them to the NFL, which is how it was for so long. I'm just going to say, if you're getting paid 6 and 7 figures, I'm all for it. But don't expect $1 and $2 accountability to come along with it. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hour 2, and we come back. Don't go anywhere.
While folks love all of Hog Wild's award-winning barbecue options, many have a real soft spot for the Carolina pulled pork sandwich. Hog Wild serves their tender, slow-smoked pulled pork on a soft bun and piles it high with tangy coleslaw. There's nothing else on the menu like it. The added bonus? You get to have a side dish like curly fries or baked beans. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
Tune in to live coverage of Big Ten Media Days from the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, July 22nd through 24th on 93.7 The Ticket. Join Derek Pearson, Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert, and Austin Orman as they bring you exclusive conversations with Big Ten coaches, players, and sports media professionals while getting you ready for the upcoming college football season. Big Ten Media Days coverage is presented by Advanced Medical Imaging, Stevenson Smith Construction, Currency, Warhorse Casino, Gary Michaels Clothiers, and League One Volleyball.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Make your move fun and easy with the help of Movers and Shakers. Movers and Shakers is homegrown, female-led, and ready to help make your transition to a new space as seamless as possible. They excel at residential and commercial moving jobs, as well as offer home cleanouts and junk removal services. Moving into a new place is stressful enough, so let Movers and Shakers ease the transition. Give them a call today at 712-899-6265 or book your move online at www.moversandShakersNE.com today. What do you look for when searching for a plumbing company? Integrity, positive customer reviews? Are they insured and fully licensed? How about a company that has all three? Deals Plumbing in Lincoln is your go-to certified plumbing company that can help you fix anything from leaks to clogs, water heaters, and more. Give Deals Plumbing a call today at 402-525-7311, or you can visit Deals Plumbing online at dealsplumbing.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome into Hour 2, ladies and gentlemen, of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. It is indeed the noon hours. You know, you can grab your lunch every day. Join us. But that means it's lunchtime. The lunch hour of the Adam Carriker Show here on The Ticket is sponsored by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue with 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, try their burnt end sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab. I always pause right there, like involuntarily, because I just like, it's delicious food. All right. Plus incredible sides. All right. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Real quick note, a week from today, we will be doing our first remote at Mulberry's Barbecue next Friday, 1 week from today, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at their South location. Hour 2 of this fine program is also brought to you by our good friends and sponsored by our good friends at Suizo Construction, where safety is not just a policy, ladies and gentlemen, it is a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concert workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com. 40 years strong in business, Suizo Construction. All right, Jake, before we dive into the atmosphere at Memorial Stadium compared to SEC schools, and before we dive into what we think the defense will look like this year, can I give you just some friendly advice? Just friendly advice.
Yeah.
If you ever have an affair, don't get caught on the kiss cam.
That's right. I've been seeing that going around.
Dude, how could you not see it? I think if you open your eyes, you see that picture in some sort of meme or something with it. It's crazy.
Yeah. And just a reminder to everybody, because I know there's kind of the blowback of that is they shouldn't be showing me, this is my personal life, all that. When that little, I have read all this stuff and you don't read it, and you just go through and click through when you buy tickets. That's what they're talking about. You're selling your name, image, and likeness or whatever for that period of time when you're going into the sporting event.
So you're telling me that every fan should be getting NIL. Is that what you're telling me? Or to actually read what you're signing, one or the other?
Every fan might, but yeah, just read what you sign, or don't complain when you're caught on kiss cam with not your wife.
Here's the other thing. They sold it so terribly. I mean, my goodness, just if they'd have just hung out, of course, they had the natural reaction. If you don't know what we're talking about, I'm not going to explain it. Just open up an app somewhere. You'll see the picture. Okay. like sell it a little bit. And I know the instant reaction is to freak out, which is what they did. Either don't do it or sell it, or don't do what you did, because that's why you're trending and going viral right now every freaking where.
Cheating's not good. Affairs aren't good. But what do you think about kiss cam?
Yeah, to be clear, affairs are not good. Not condoning that. Kiss cams are phenomenal unless you're sitting next to your sister, because I've seen that a couple of times. I saw one dude hold up a sign, my sister. He came prepared with an arrow. I was like, that dude is smart. Other than that, kiss cams are great.
Yeah, they're always. I mean, they're kind of meant to be awkward at times. I mean, there's always someone on a first date, or people that aren't even necessarily at that level. And then there's the couples that will freely do it. But
they're two of my favorite I've ever seen. There's one guy. And I was like, I don't know if it's his girlfriend or what. He tried to kiss her, so it must have been, but she like bluntly rejected him. So I'm like, maybe, they're kind of like in a situation where they're dating, but they haven't gotten there yet or whatever. A girl like sitting next to him taps him on the shoulder and kisses him. And the other girl who rejected him got mad and walked away. I'm like, so apparently they were in a relationship and she didn't like that, even though she shut him down. That was one. Another one was, in the caption was, I think she created a supervillain. And so I watch it, and it's the kiss cam, and the guy's sitting next to this girl, and she will not kiss him. She refuses to kiss him. The guy behind taps her on the shoulder. She looks up at him, kisses him. Some dude she doesn't know in any way, shape, or form kisses him, and then goes back to watching the game. And they kind of zoom the camera in on the poor initial dude who got rejected or shunned, however you want to put it. And you can just see the look in his face. Like, that's a super villain in the making. I felt bad for the guy, but it was like the perfect headline to get me to watch the video. And it was so accurate. I felt bad for the dude. All right, Jake, anything from the text line, anything in general before we dive into what we think Nebraska's defense may look like this fall?
Just looking through it, looks like Bada Bing says, I used to live in Georgia. That stadium, even when they were rated in the top 10, we're not even close to being ranked. Where Nebraska played Michigan in 2021, compared to that game. So now imagine if Nebraska was rated in the top 25, and that stadium would have been even crazier.
That's a great point, because the Michigan game, again, we talk about the Michigan game, the Miami game, the Colorado game. Imagine if these are ranked matchups or highly ranked teams. Those atmospheres are insane to begin with. Like, I can tell people all the time, like, every fan base is like, oh, we're the best fan base, this and that. And that's great to believe. But where's the proof, facts, and evidence? The proof, facts, and evidence is a sellout streak, and you can say whatever you want about that. But here's what I'll tell you. It doesn't matter if we're playing Alabama or Timbuktu U. That thing's going to be sold out, and the stadium's going to be rocking. Definitely a kickoff. All right, so you can't say that everywhere else, because we were talking about, you brought up LSU. I brought up the Swamp, and your response was, well, Florida's not good. The Swamp ain't rocking. I was like, that's a great point. They rely on winning, and obviously football teams want to win and fans want to cheer for winning football teams, but they rely on winning for the place to be rocking. Memorial Stadium is always rocking, especially like there's been games where maybe at the end it wasn't, and hopefully those outcomes change, but when at kickoff, it is rocking. It does not matter if it's Timbuktu U, Alabama, Michigan, Colorado, or whoever. So to me, we were supposed to say this for segment 2, but we'll dive into it now. It was just mentioned by someone out there that the atmosphere at Memorial Stadium could probably never match that of an SEC stadium. And then that individual mentioned that they'd never been to an SEC stadium. Now, you asked me, Adam, have you ever played in an SEC stadium? Technically, yes, because I played at A&M, I played at Oklahoma, and I played at Texas, and those schools are now in the SEC. So I don't know if that qualifies as an SEC stadium because they were Big 12 at the time. How would you qualify that?
Yeah, that's tough. Missouri as well.
Missouri.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just kind of goes to to arguing the point that there are unique stadiums and big atmospheres outside of the SEC footprint, to include at one time Oklahoma and Texas A&M especially, and Texas. So, I mean, I think they include, but again, that kind of goes back again to on the argument is you can't just blanket statement these 16, and unless it's true, these 16 stadium atmospheres, this entire conference is different or better than the atmosphere in Lincoln.
I mean, that's an interesting point because I went straight to two of the top most rowdy stadiums. Neyland Stadium in Tennessee would be another one. But what about Mississippi State, with all due respect? What about some of these others? Vanderbilt? Really? Over? I mean, unless you're beating Alabama for the first time in a bajillion years and the first time you've ever beaten a number one team at home. Outside of that, you're telling me. So I have to, when I heard him say it, or when I was sent the thing, I had to imagine he was talking about the top end SEC stadiums. Because if you're just saying the whole conference, that's just a redonkulous statement in general. But I don't know that the A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri atmosphere is that much different now that they're in the SEC. Maybe it is. I don't know. What I can tell you is I played there. I've obviously played a Memorial Stadium. I can compare them to NFL stadiums. Okay. Well, real quick, I've shared this before, but it's been a while. So I'll share it again here. My senior year, we played at A&M. Big 12 North title on the line. All right, Zach Taylor ends up throwing up the pass at the end to come back to Mo Purify. We end up winning the Big 12 North, go and play Oklahoma at Arrowhead in pretty much the freaking coldest game I've ever been involved in my life for that Big 12 championship game. Something happened in that A&M game that had never happened before and has never happened since. The first drive were on the field. And they had a good offensive line. That really had nothing to do with it. I think they started with the ball. We're on the field. I don't even remember what happened to the drive. I come off, and I'm sitting there. Well, I'm standing there, and I'm just kind of like looking around like normal, and I just happen to look up in the stands, and I forget what they do. It's some sort of something they do in the stands, and I got really dizzy. Like really dizzy. And I had to sit down. Even sitting down, if I looked up, I would about throw up. It was weird. Like they weave back and forth or whatever it is they do in the stands there at A&M. It's kind of unique to them. But the movement that they were doing throughout the entire stadium made me nauseous. So for the rest of the game, if I wasn't playing, if I was in, I could look at the players in front of me because I'm not looking at the stands and I'm focused on what's going on in front of me. If I was out, I had to stare at the ground or I was legit going to lose my pregame meal.
Wow.
It was an interesting thing, and A&M was absolutely one of the best atmospheres I was ever in. Probably even a better atmosphere than I would say Texas or Oklahoma. Out of those four schools that we mentioned that are now in the SEC, Missouri is definitely fourth. No disrespect there. I would put A&M one. Probably Oklahoma. It's a toss-up between Texas and Oklahoma, but Missouri fourth out of those four. But that was such a unique thing at the A&M game. I couldn't look up. I remember one time my D-line coach was like, Adam, look at me. I'm like, I can't. Like, I'm staring at the ground. I'm like, just put the whiteboard down here. Like, draw on the whiteboard. Put it down here and talk to me.
Jeez. Were any of your other teammates having any problem, do you know?
I've never heard anybody else talk about it.
Because I know what you're talking about. They all kind of get together and wave.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was something I ate. I don't know if I was extra amped because I wanted to go to the Big 12 title game, play Oklahoma. I don't know what. Maybe it had nothing to do with any of that. Maybe, I don't know. So that was interesting. What I can speak on, I can speak on those atmospheres. Obviously, I can speak on the Memorial Stadium atmosphere, and I can speak on NFL atmospheres. Here's what I'll tell you. When you talk about SEC atmospheres, it's obvious like football's like a religion in the South. I understand that. But you think about Memorial Stadium specifically. It doesn't matter who we play. It's rocking at the beginning of a game. It's always going to be sold out. You set a world record with Nebraska playing UNO in volleyball. UNO's gained a little bit more notoriety over the past year to 2 years since then, but not a ton at the point and not their volleyball program as of yet. They're building. Where else can you do that? I pointed this out on this program before. Iowa has the single biggest attraction, in my opinion, absolutely in women's basketball, maybe in all of basketball, and Caitlin Clark held a basketball game in their football stadium and did awesome with 61,000 people. That didn't even touch 92,003, which is a world all-time record, by the way. So these are facts and stats that I don't know that can be backed up anywhere else. And I will tell you the atmosphere. I've never been in a louder stadium in my life. That includes A&M. That includes Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri. That includes NFL stadiums. I played in a majority of the NFL stadiums. The loudest, Seattle Seahawks, Kansas City Chiefs, Washington Redskins. I would actually rank them in that exact order. Seattle, Kansas City, Washington. And I'll never forget my first year with the Rams, first or second year, we went and played at DC, so I hadn't even played for Washington yet. And our D coordinator pulls us aside. He said, it's going to be loud. They're the only NFL team that has a marching band or a fight song and a band that plays, not a marching band, but a fight song and a band that plays the fight song. Only team out of 32. It's a unique culture out there in DC. They are passionate. I would say Seattle. I would say Kansas City as well. None of them were ever louder than Memorial Stadium. None were louder. None had a more intense atmosphere. I can tell you from firsthand experience. And the loudest I've ever heard Memorial Stadium be, my senior year, we're playing Iowa State. We go into overtime. And I've shared this before, but it all comes together when we're discussing this. Because maybe SEC stadiums are louder. Maybe A&M is louder now that it's in the SEC. Maybe Texas is louder now that it's in the SEC. Maybe the Swamp in LSU is unlike anything I've ever seen. Maybe. My senior year, we play Iowa State. We go into overtime. There was a particular play because I knew the signals. I would watch our D coordinator, signal it in. Our Mike linebacker would always then say it again in the huddle. And so you had multiple opportunities to get the play. Whatever happened the previous play, it prohibited me from being ready to watch the signal come in from the sideline. In the huddle, you got to keep in mind the defensive line are in front of the huddle and the Mike linebacker's right next to you. Almost like my head is about right here as the Mike linebacker's right there. Like he's right next to me saying the play. Can't hear the play. It's so loud I can't hear it. Break the huddle. Lakeven Smith is right next to me, defensive tackle. Like no farther than this water bottle. I'm like, what's the play? He tries to tell it to me. He tries to yell it. I can't hear it. He's trying to yell me. I have no idea what the play is. I remember being tempted to call a timeout. And I also knew the rule. Nobody but a coach called timeout. I was a captain. I was like, maybe I can get away with it. I'm like, you know what? I don't think I should do that. So I put my hand in. I had no idea what the play was. I'm like, the odds of me dropping aren't very good. So I'm not covering nobody. So either I'm stunting inside or I've got contained. So I basically just put my hand in the dirt, tried to kind of feel if there was a blitzer behind me, if he was coming. I tried to look at the hand placement of Lakeven. Was he stunting one way or the other? I didn't feel any of that. I'm like, I think it's more of a base play or they're blitzing from the other side. Either way, there's like an 80% chance I just have contained. So I just flew off the ball. I hit the tackle in the mouth as hard as I could. I kept contained and they, ran the ball the other way. So it really didn't matter. There wasn't a bootleg or a reverse or nothing. So I got a little bit lucky. I don't remember anything sticking out the next day on film. So I must have ran, I kind of in my head was calculating the odds of what I'm supposed to do without having to call a timeout. And I must have done okay. But I'm telling you, I'm this far from Lakeven. He's yelling at me and I can't hear him. Not even close. I couldn't even come close to deciphering what it was. So if there's and obviously that's the loudest it ever was. There were other games where it was very loud too. Colorado, my senior year, a lot of games where it was very, very loud. There's never a game where it wasn't incredibly loud, especially at kickoff. And then it would either get louder or maybe quieter, depending on what happened in the game. If somebody can tell me definitively that Memorial Stadium can't match what SEC schools bring game in and game out, whether they're winning or losing, whether it doesn't matter who their opponent is week in and week out, hey, more power to you. I find it hard to believe.
Yeah, we've got a few thoughts here from the text line as well. Jim says, I've been to several Auburn games the past 5 years. Didn't seem as loud as Husker games. 6732 says, CU, Nebraska, 1994. Loud in all capital letters. Gus Mohawk said he's been to Alabama, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Nebraska by far is louder. I went to the Michigan game in 21 and Colorado last year. Not even close. And we are not even close to being ranked in the top 25, as we've gone on to say. And then the other one, I ran across this earlier from the owner of Pick Six Previews. So he was in Memorial Stadium for Colorado's game in 2024.
Brett Ciencia.
Yeah. He said it was the loudest moment I've ever experienced in a college football stadium. I have to assume that he's been to a few, being from Pick Six Previews. Once Tommy Hill intercepted that ball against Colorado, he said you could sense a decade's worth of frustration being exercised from the sea of red, which for that play particularly could be true. But again, I mean, that's probably a guy that's traveled around to a few college football stadiums.
He's a Heisman voter. He has, for 8 years consecutive now, had the most accurate preseason predictions that come to fruition throughout the following season. I've interviewed him multiple times. He was there that game. I forgot about that, actually. Travis Hunter himself, when asked what the most loud or difficult atmosphere he ever played in college was, he said Nebraska, and it wasn't even close. That's, coming from a Big 12 type team there. But I think what this reminds me of is there is this SEC mental notion, bias. I'm just going to say bias, that definitely exists in a lot of folks on ESPN, which is why I make the joke, haha, ESPN, SEC Network. Also definitely in the South, but it has spread because it's all over TV and radio nationally. It is spread to certain parts of the country, and a lot of people don't buy into it. Some people do. But it's kind of like when people say this team should have been in the playoff or that team should have been in the playoff, and then we go play actual games and those SEC teams are losing, especially the Big Ten teams. It's like, I'm so sick and tired of well, this is what it is. Or if this were to happen, this is what would happen. No. How about we pay attention to what has actually happened? Because I gave a lot of facts. And I gave my opinion at the end, but I gave facts that I don't know the SEC folks could say going to sell out no matter what. And it doesn't matter who you're playing or what your record is, or like, how can you get louder than the guy next to me yelling at the top of his voice and I can't hear him? How do you get louder than that unless you're in the middle of like a fighter jet or something? You're in the engine or something. I don't know what that's like, but I don't know. I get kind of tired of the hypotheticals being accepted as fact versus what actually happens being accepted as fact. And I feel like that's connected too often to the SEC. Does that make sense, the point I'm trying to make?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we talked about branding earlier with Nebraska, saying it's not for everybody. The SEC has mastered that branding but they really have. I mean, they just, it just means more type of thing, and people buy into it and believe it. And to a degree, it's true. Like, I do appreciate the Southeast along with the Big Ten. There's a reason why the SEC and the Big Ten are the biggest teams with all the brands. It's because those are the monies that pour in the community pours in the money, and the care factor is there more than anything in those communities. But it seems to, along with on the field championship winning, and I think that's what led to most of this. Is for 15 years the SEC was winning titles. So how are you going to argue it very well? But I think because they have kind of a unified front that kind of helps. Big Ten, we don't necessarily, no, Michigan's louder, Ohio State's better. We're focused in on Nebraska, aren't we? So it just kind of goes, you don't necessarily have that, but that also goes into kind of what's been thrown at Nebraska. And because if you had 100-year-old rivalries come in, maybe those games you do kind of get amped up a little bit more. When Alabama and Tennessee play each other on the 3rd September of every year, they get together and they hate each other. And so there's natural hate, all this to it. Nebraska has one team they play year in and year out, and that's Iowa. And that game does feel like you're walking into a war if you've been into that game. But I don't know if there's enough of those games. So, because of just like I said, conference realignment, and a lot of those SEC teams haven't been bothered by that. They've only added to. They haven't taken anybody away.
Did you make two great points? There is a little bit more, I don't want to say division amongst the Big Ten, but maybe just not as much being on the same page. And part of that is we have 4 schools on the opposite side of the country, like literally East Coast and West Coast. But maybe the SEC is a little bit more unified in certain things. And so maybe that helps. You make a phenomenal point in the aspect of the SEC still has all their rivalries they've ever had. They've never lost one. Like Nebraska, Colorado, Oklahoma, etc. That's just picking one school. Now, probably the one school with the two of the most extreme examples of rivalries lost, but that's a fair point. Oregon, they're not going to keep playing Oregon State forever, nor should they. I wouldn't if I was them. Washington State, at least USC still has UCLA, but how many times has UCLA played Maryland? What does that game really mean? And actually, the SEC gained one of the best rivalries back because of A&M and Texas now playing each other.
Add Texas, Oklahoma, that's a huge one.
Yeah, that's a fair point. If someone wants to say the SEC atmosphere at their Saturdays, you can't beat it, that's a little bit more believable than saying Memorial Stadium just can't touch it or can't match it, because I find that hard to believe. Personally, I don't think they can beat Memorial Stadium, but that's my Nebraska bias coming out. Again, you can watch your dog run for 2 weeks in the state of Nebraska and watch him run away. If you missed our earlier segment, go back and check it out. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Make your move fun and easy with the help of Movers and Shakers. Movers and Shakers is homegrown, female-led, and ready to help make your transition to a new space as seamless as possible. They excel at residential and commercial moving jobs, as well as offer home cleanouts and junk removal services. Moving into a new place is stressful enough, so let Movers and Shakers ease the transition. Give them a call today at 712-899-6265 or book your move online at www.moversandShakersNE.com today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hi, folks. The weather is for sure heating up, and Coppel Chevrolet GMC is following suit. The discounts are really as good as they've ever been. $14,500 off list price, or 0% financing on select new models. Folks, you heard that right. Smoking hot deals at Coppel. $14,500 off list price, or 0% APR. So take that short drive down 144th Street or at koppelcars.com. STK number G269520. All deals with trade-in and approved credit.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
What do you look for when searching for a plumbing company? Integrity? Positive customer reviews? Are they insured and fully licensed? How about a company that has all three? Deals Plumbing in Lincoln is your go-to certified plumbing company that can help you fix anything from leaks to clogs, water heaters, and more. Give Deals Plumbing a call today at 402-525-7311, or you can visit Deals Plumbing online at dealsplumbing.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Tune in to live coverage of Big Ten Media Days from the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, July 22nd through 24th on 93.7 The Ticket. Join Derek Pearson, Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert, and Austin Orman as they bring you exclusive conversations with Big Ten coaches, players, and sports media professionals while getting you ready for the upcoming college football season. Big Ten Media Days coverage is presented by Advanced Medical Imaging, Stevenson Smith Construction, Currency, Warhorse Casino, Gary Michaels Clothiers, and League One Volleyball.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner, focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Hey, I don't want to hate on Joe Burrow. He's clearly in this tier. I think he's the bottom of this tier. I would go Alan Jackson and then Burrow.
You should be a politician. You just convinced
You know what I'm saying? You see what he doing?
Yeah, he didn't have
He doing it all the time, Mr. Tricky, man.
Keep going, Jay.
No,
You're speaking my
no,
language.
you stop
You're
it.
speaking my language. Come on, come on.
You didn't let him get you, Jay. I can't believe you let him get you again. God,
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Hour 2, numero dos of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. And Jake is all about the technicalities today. Why would I know? I was only there, but that game against Iowa State was my junior year because Lakeven Smith, you're like, Adam, wasn't that your junior year? Yeah, Lakeven Smith was indeed a year older than me, so that would have been my junior year. So Jake's all about the technicalities today, but keeping us on the path of the straight and narrow. I do appreciate it, my friend. Accuracy matters, ladies and gentlemen. All right, again, it's the noon hour, and that means it's lunchtime. The lunch hour of the Adam Carriker Show here on The Ticket is sponsored by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue, now with 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker and 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much, much more, plus incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker, and at 61st and Apples Way, as well, just off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. All right, Hour 2 of the show is also brought to you by our good friends. Glad to be partnered with Suizo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply at Suizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com. 40 years strong in business, Suizo Construction. All right, let's dive into this. What we expect from Nebraska's defense to look like this fall, at least the information we have at this point, and how we believe things may turn out. Again, Caleb Benning, all right, did an interview the other day, had some interesting quotes. All right, one of the main points Benning was looking to stress was that the defense this year will be faster, stronger, and swarming to the football. And I quote, "The term is ferociousness," Benning said. "We are faster, stronger, and much more athletic. We will suffocate the ball and get to the runner." All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me your thoughts. Give me your end quote. And give me your thoughts. Give me your reaction. All right, text in. What's that text line number again there, Jake?
402-464-5685.
All right, Jake, what's your initial reaction when you hear that?
Well, I think it's always good to hear, that there's going to be more aggressive. Unfortunately, that hasn't always come true. I mean, we've heard coordinators say that in the past, and sometimes that aggressiveness has actually even hurt Nebraska. But it's going to be so fascinating to see what they do because John Butler, obviously, 1 year in the system, if you will, obviously a long time, has been around the 3-3-5. But with the Nebraska system, they wanted to continue that. Which was a little bit of a surprise to me. I thought they might kind of, once Tony Butler left, to change it. But to Matt Rule's credit, and he said it. Why would we change something that's been working? And Nebraska's had a top 25 defense the last couple of years. Look at the total defense last year, 18th in the country. The scoring defense, 17th in the country. So I agree not to go all outside of the system as long as you got enough people in place that can continue to coach that. Now, when you start talking about kind of making your own tweaks on it, which obviously Coach Butler is going to want to do, again, it sounds great. I mean, what's the opposite of that? It's like, no, we're actually going to just sit back and be a bend but don't break defense. That's not going to get people excited. I'm interested to see because, again, I've heard in the past, that was something with Scott Frost defenses. We're not going to be as high on the total yards. And remember, the idea was because the offense wasn't going to be holding onto the ball too much. Like, as you said earlier, a couple of weeks ago, that offense never necessarily made it to Lincoln, but that was their ideas. Yeah, we might not be the highest in total defense, but that's because we're going to be hopefully getting turnovers and taking risks and this and that, and it just, I don't know, some of those Shenander defenses, particularly the one in 2021 that went 3-9, was pretty good, but I just don't know if they ever felt like an attacking defense, and that's what we'd love to see. And to do that, Nebraska is going to have to make some more big plays. Again, as I kind of stated, they had a good defense overall in rankings and points per game, total yards. That's the most important thing. But you go into like interceptions. They were tied for 60th in interceptions. They were tied for 43rd in sacks. So those are the type of things that, those numbers would have to move up to really kind of think of it as an attack style defense. Do they have the personnel to do it? Can you do it through scheme? That remains to be seen.
So you don't want to hear that they're going to be slower, weaker, and softer. That's not what you want to hear?
No.
Is that what I'm hearing from you?
That's not a good speech, no.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So I thought you made some good points because Tony White's first year, if you remember before that year, the tackling had struggled for a long time. We brought in a tackling consultant at one point, if you remember that, okay? Which still blows my mind to this day. Those are called football coaches, but I digress. His first year, the tackling was as good as it's been in maybe over a decade, but at least a decade. But there weren't a whole lot of turnovers, and we were producing a lot of turnovers on our end. They put more of an emphasis on forcing turnovers a year ago. We had multiple turnovers that went straight into touchdowns, a la the Tommy Hill pick 6 versus Colorado. There was more throughout the season as well. John Bullock had one versus Purdue. So the turnovers and the points off turnovers went up. I did feel like the tackling regressed a little bit. It's almost kind of like with the offensive line. 2 years ago, the run blocking was great. The pass pro, not as great. A year ago, the pass pro was better, but the run blocking wasn't as good. There's only so much time in a day, so you've got to prioritize what you really want to emphasize. Here's what I will say, and I'm going to go back. Let me find his. I want to read the quote again real quick because what resonated with me is what I saw in the bowl game from the young players, and a majority of them are going to be back this year. Obviously not Ty and Nash, but a majority of the other guys I'm going to talk about are going to be back, and then we've added some guys like Dawson McCullough and Marquez Watson-Trent who are only going to help make us better. But I'm going to go back to his quote. And I quote, "The term is ferociousness," Benning said. "We are faster, stronger, and much more athletic. We will suffocate the ball and get to the runner." One word pops into my head when I read that, and that was swarming. Swarming defense. Swarming. Think back to the bowl game. There was a lot of guys all over the field. I felt like that defense was swarming in the backfield, blitzers coming free. You could see the athleticism. You saw Vincent Shavers. You saw a lot of the young guys on defense. Riley Van Poppel, bad pun intended, popped off a little bit that game. You could see why these guys were highly recruited and highly sought after. I've used the word explosiveness on defense, and every time I do, it feels awkward because it's using the word explosiveness with defense. I feel like we are going to be, I've said our second level of our defense is is as athletic, easy for me to say, as it's been in a long time. We got youth, okay, up front. We've got some youth in other spots. I do think there's going to be an adjustment period where they're learning, growing, getting experience, getting on the same page. Maybe few big plays happen in the meantime. But for me, I think it's going to be, there was an attacking defense in that bowl game. There was a swarming athletic style of defense in that bowl game. Do I think we're going to be better as an overall whole on defense? No way of knowing. A lot of question marks right now. To say that we'd be better isn't something that I would anticipate. Not saying it can't happen, but I anticipate us doing certain things. Being faster, being more athletic, okay? When he said stronger, that's going to start up front with the defensive linemen, whoever the starters are and however they play this year. It's being stronger is all 11, but it starts up front. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. But I do expect them to play faster, play with a little bit more athleticism, be even more swarming. There's probably going to be some more miscues early on while they're young and learning and adjusting and everything else. Some of these guys haven't started or played a lot of ball, and that's okay. But when I read that, he basically described 90% of what I expect. I expect a swarming, attacking, fast defense. By the way, what we saw against Boston College. Stronger, that's going to remain to be seen starting up front with the defensive line. And whether we're better overall or not as a whole, largely is going to be due to, can we prevent the big plays on the back end and prevent any big plays up front? Because that's really the question marks that I have. But that's kind of what I expect to see from the defense this year. What say you, Jake?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Jumping to the text line here, there's a few different thoughts on this. Gorilla Bear says, I think the defense inevitably regresses. They lost a lot of proven talent and they have a first-year DC. Gus Mohawk says, I think the defense is being slept on, and maybe that's the fire they need. I think we have a player that gets 10 sacks this year. I don't know who it is, but I think it's coming. Black Shirts, baby. And then also off of, Bada Bing on YouTube says that he thinks we have at least 2 all-conference players on this team, and he really likes Van Poppel. Also hearing that they're going to blitz heavy, which he likes to hear as well. So, kind of different thoughts all over the board there. And again, it's kind of that talent. And if you can get those sort of guys to go to Sean McCullough, like we said, has all the talent in the world, is it going to register into like he was stating, 10 sacks or something close to that, pressures that can really change the way that the defense or the offensive coordinator is planning to attack. And then I thought you made a good point, because you can think of times last year. We don't want to completely act like this team last year didn't, because I threw those numbers out there. Pick sixes are better than picks. Mm-hmm. And so, and we saw that Sierra Wright had one, John Bullock had one, and then Tommy Hill had one. So if you can get 3 of those a year, that's not, so it's not like they're that far off. We'll have to see, if you kind of you blend in some more zone coverages, you might get some more picks as you're kind of looking at the quarterback as opposed to man-to-man. So we'll have to see kind of what they favor to do. But, especially with having that fifth defensive back out there that they talk about, if you can get pressure with 3 or the 4 that you bring in with the jack linebacker or however you're doing it, should have enough guys sitting back there to get in on opportune times. Then the other thing is, as we look at this schedule, how many of these teams are offensive-led teams? I'll tell you, Michigan State at this point are not. So when you kind of go through at least the first part of the schedule, Maryland might be starting a freshman quarterback. There's just a lot of teams and opportunity for this defense to suffocate the opposition.
Maybe USC and Penn State, offensive-led teams.
Yeah.
Maybe UCLA, but they got gigantic question marks with Nico Iamaleava themselves. So maybe just 2 of the 12 that we know right now are more offensive-minded. And I don't even know that Penn State's more offensive-minded. They're probably more defensive-minded.
Yeah.
Which is just going to be really good on offense.
Yeah.
So that's a fair point to make as well. Dawson, McCullough, Williams, and Warhead. Now, Williams is a first-round talent, but a young guy learning. So we'll see how that process unfolds. I'm not saying he's going to be a first-round pick or not. The talent is there. It's about the process, and can it come sooner rather than later? Those are 2 guys who could be 10-sack players. Like, I still remember when DeMario Williams had 10 sacks. Nobody had any idea he was going to put his hand in the dirt at all that year, let alone get 10.5 sacks on the season. So maybe someone will pop off and surprise us. And honestly, if it's a couple of the guys I just mentioned, it wouldn't even surprise us. We just don't know if it's going to happen yet because we haven't seen it yet. I will say this. I do think this is the most talented defense we've had in a while. So the ceiling to be better than we've been is absolutely there. There's also a lower floor just because there's more question marks. So to me, the defensive side of the ball is as interesting as the offensive side of the ball, just doesn't get talked about as much because, offense is what people are more interested in. They keep changing the rules to favor the offense because of that. So we'll see what happens. I expect speed, athleticism, attacking. I expect there to be a learning curve. The question mark about whether we're going to be stronger and probably whether we're going to be better or as good or not starts up front with the D-line and how they play. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Tune in to live coverage of Big Ten Media Days from the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, July 22nd through 24th on 93.7 The Ticket. Join Derek Pearson, Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert, and Austin Orman as they bring you exclusive conversations with Big Ten coaches, players, and sports media professionals while getting you ready for the upcoming college football season. Big Ten Media Days coverage is presented by Advanced Medical Imaging, Stevenson Smith Construction, Currency, Warhorse Casino, Gary Michaels Clothiers, and League One Volleyball.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Hey, I don't want to hate on Joe Burrow. He's clearly in this tier. I think he's the bottom of this tier. I would go Allen Jackson and then Burrow.
You should be a politician. You just convinced.
You know what I'm saying? You see what he did?
Yeah, he didn't have
He doing all the time. It's tricky, man.
Keep going, Jay.
No,
You're speaking my language.
Stop
You're
it.
speaking my language. Come on.
You didn't let him get you, Jay. I can't believe you let him get you again. God, hey.
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Hey everyone, this weekend is the Roca Hoedown, sponsored by the Roca Tavern. Friday and Saturday night, indoor and outdoor entertainment, food trucks, and friends, all in downtown Roca. $15 cover charge with the live music starting at 4:30 p.m. We'll see you there.
Hi, folks. The weather is for sure heating up, and Coppell Chevrolet GMC is following suit. The discounts are really as good as they've ever been. $14,500 off list price, or 0% financing on select new models. Folks, you heard that right. Smoking hot deals at Coppell. $14,500 off list price, or 0% APR. So take that short drive down 144th Street or at koppelcars.com. STK number G269520. All deals with trade-in and approved credit.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final segment of this week's edition of the Adam Carriker Show. Jake, you going to miss me this weekend?
Oh, absolutely.
I'll think about you lots as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, has it dawned on you, Jake, the Huskers have the Thursday night kickoff to the entire college football season game. Literally the entire country will be watching us in Arrowhead versus Cincinnati. Thursday night, August 28th on ESPN.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Nebraska has not done well in these spotlight games, as we know the week zeros have
Right
not
out
done
the
well.
gate, you go with that.
Well,
come on, man. We're trying to send people home with positive vibes. What are we doing here?
I'm just saying we need to kind of change the little fortune there. But I'm glad they continue to do it. Was my point, is because I thought that they might be scared or feel like, this has burned them enough that they don't want to do it. But what better way to kick off a season when everybody's, thirsty for college football to get the premier game on a Thursday night?
All right. You made a good recovery there. You make a great point, though. Like a lot of people, when they're like, what are the biggest games of the year on Nebraska's schedule? Michigan, USC, Penn State, Iowa. We've talked about our most important games. I always put Cincinnati in there. Always. Statistically, recent history speaking, game one, especially versus Power 4 conference teams, not treated us great. Let's get that monkey off our back. Then we can roll into Michigan at home with a true freshman quarterback, no head coach, 3-0. That game, because if we lose it, just think about that. I've posed that question before. Just think about that. We should win. Frankly, we should win by double digits. And frankly, I know we're not favored by double digits, but I expect us to.
Well, let me say this, because we just talked about the defense, and I brought up the schedule late there, and so I wanted to go and look and see. We talk about the schedule not being as difficult. Cincinnati is one of 3 games that we already include. We talked about Penn State and USC. Cincinnati, the only other opponent outside of Houston Baptist, which I did not go and run down their numbers. But of the other opponents, every other team finished 100 or below in either scoring offense or total offense. Every other one, from Akron to Michigan, Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, Northwestern, UCLA, and Iowa, all either had a total offense or scoring offense ranked 100 or below. Cincinnati, Penn State, and USC are the only ones that did not.
Just for those who don't know, Cincinnati was still 5-7 last year.
They were not, They were 89th in scoring offense, so it's not like they were that far off. 36th in total offense.
So 75% of our opponents finished somewhere between 100 to 134th in the country offensively in some major stat a year ago.
That's correct.
Dude, the Kool-Aid, it's just right there, man. It's just right there. We got to start by beating Cincinnati. We should. They got a whole lot of new on their end as well, just in case you were wondering. We'll dive more into Cincinnati as that game gets closer. But, man, college football is getting closer and closer and closer. And, I get more and more excited as each day goes by, as each week goes by. Once August here, in my mind, it's here. I mean, it's here. It's pretty much already August. Jake, it's pretty much football season.
That's right.
All right, you got anything before we get out?
No, I'm just going to, don't be surprised if I walk in with some gold this, no.
Dude, there's a lot of pressure on you now. I'm just saying. There's a lot of pressure. All right, have a great weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Go Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the ball.
Hey everyone, this weekend is the Roca Hoedown, sponsored by the Roca Tavern. Friday and Saturday night, indoor and outdoor entertainment, food trucks, and friends, all in downtown Roca. $15 cover charge with the live music starting at 4:30 p.m. We'll see you there.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally